I've developed some sort of a caffeine tolerance, and I no longer caffeine doesn't do anything for me. Uh, what are we talking about today? All right, let's talk about. Hi, my name is Victory Owaputi, and today we're talking about the hardships of beginnings. It took me 2 years to start this YouTube channel that you see here today. It took me 2 years to realize that starting something new is one of the hardest things you can do when you have passion. It took me 2 years to realize that when you want to get something done, if you clench onto finding motivation and inspiration, you won't succeed. You won't make it through the first couple weeks, months, days of having this wonderful idea that you own. And when I first started my photography, I had the idea to start a YouTube channel. This was in 2019. I had gotten my first camera January or February, I think, of 2019, and I had started my photography almost immediately. I had kicked off. Even before then, I had used my phone, and I didn't realize how tough it would get eventually when you have a passion and you want to dive deep. You want to beat the competition and you want to be better. You want to grow. You don't realize how hard it will be to start new projects, new things within your same craft. And this is why I want to speak on the hardships of new beginnings, the hardship of beginnings in general, is that you can never say to yourself that, you know, I'll get it started whenever. People are going to appreciate my work. The thing is that nobody appreciates work that they can't see. Good work is finished work. If you don't finish your work, nobody's going to see it. No one's going to appreciate it. You are not going to get recognition for anything anywhere. You're never going to be the type of person you want to be. You're never going to grow to be the star that you want to be in whatever aspect of career choice or path that you choose to go into. And there's so many factors as to why it's hard for people to start new things today, back then, whenever. Some of them, the fear of rejection, imposter syndrome, and some mental disorders. Sometimes it's depression, sometimes it's life, sometimes it's being so burdened by issues that surround your everyday creativity, your everyday life, that just make it so hard for you to continue, or so make it so hard for you to even get started at all. I often always find myself quitting something before I even do it. I find myself quitting before I even lay out the plans, and I sometimes find myself quitting even after I've done every single bit of I've partaken in the creative process. I've laid down the ideas. I've even finished the projects, and I find myself quitting even after all that time because I feel like an imposter. I feel like I don't belong in this field. I feel like people aren't gonna like my work. I feel like when people see my work, they're gonna expect more of me, and I feel sometimes even to myself that I could probably do better than this. And the truth is, maybe yeah, you can do better than this. Maybe yeah, people are gonna hate your work. Maybe yeah, you don't belong in this field. But you're never gonna know until you actually get started. You're never gonna know until you put that foot through the door. You're never gonna know until you try. And my older brother always says something. He says, you regret everything you never try. You regret everything you never partake in, because you never know what will happen when you actually do try. You never know what's gonna happen when you actually decide to, you know what, F it, I'm gonna do this. And sometimes even when we get rejected, it should never be a factor as to why we quit, or as to why we choose not to start, or the reason why we choose to never go forward with our ideas. So many famous people that we know today got rejected multiple times, and I could name a few, but none of them are really coming to my head right now, except for J.K. Rowling. She got rejected like 12 times before her book got published. So many people. And the thing is, I'm not looking for fame and fortune. Maybe a little fortune. We do need the money. But I'm not looking for the fame. But if you are looking for the fame, I would say, if you want to get to that peak stardom, if you want to get to the top one day, you gotta start. You gotta get out of your comfort zone. You gotta pull out the blankets and open the curtains and, look into a brand new light. So many of us get burdened with our day-to-day life issues. Heck, before this video, even as this video right now, I am suffering in financial burden. And, some people in my life could watch this video and be like, why are you telling them that? I'll be as transparent as I can be. The truth is, so many things that we face on our day-to-day just flatten us and just like make it unable for us to even do so many things in our lives. Some of us are suffering from depression. So many times in between those 2-3 years before shooting this video right now, I have set up my lights, I have put the camera, set up everything before getting this background, before going to find this light in the garbage somewhere and using it. So many things that I've done, but I've never gone ahead. I've bought podcast gear. I've learned all I can about cinematography. I've bettered my photography. Within that span, I don't regret anything that I've done. I don't regret anything that I've learned. But there was still so much holding me back. And because I let myself be held back, I am just starting now when I could have started later. I could have started before. But who cares if you don't start now or start before? One day, when you can finally look up to yourself and get started, you'll appreciate whatever you learned in the process. And the thing I hate to say is, if you wait on motivation, if you wait on inspiration, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna be successful. I think I said this a couple of minutes ago. You're not gonna be successful because people that do the work, they don't wait for inspiration, they don't wait for motivation, they get to work. Even when I suffered on not knowing what to do with my project, not knowing how to start my videos, how I wanted to sound, what equipment to use, how long to save for the equipment, how I wanted my background to look, whether I wanted my videos to look like Peter McKinnon's or Matty Puya or Donna or Danny Gravitz. At the end of the day, I had to find my own flow. I had to find what I wanted my videos to look like. I had to find what I wanted to sound like. I had to find what I wanted to say. I had to find me. So this is why I went into a rebrand. Find myself, help others find themselves. Don't be afraid to start ugly. Don't be afraid to hate your work. Don't be afraid to let others hate your work. Sometimes bad criticism is good response. It helps us build. It helps us grow. It helps us sometimes move to a more positive light. Positive reinforcement is good and all, and sometimes it's the best thing you need in your down times. But don't forget that in this world that we live, nobody gets to the top by receiving yeses all the time. There are a couple no's that make you reflect back and start again. Take care. My name is Victory Oputi. I won't tell you to like and subscribe. Uh, I don't want to be an online coach that helps people to be like, oh, find yourself, and none of that. But if this video did help you in any way, like and subscribe. You can always find me on Instagram at lasaf04 and Twitter. I love you. Take care. Stay beautiful. Shit. Sometimes bad criticism, sometimes